The man
Yes,
is
sir.
in the building. What up, big dog?
What's up, dog? Let's make it happen.
Finally. Finally.
About damn time.
I be feeling like the man when I walk through. I ain't stunning what you saying when I walk through. I got all these hoes staring when I walk through. I done made a few bands on the walk through. Watch me, hey, why me walk through? Watch me, hey, why me walk through? Watch me, hey, why me walk through? I done made a few bands on the walk through.
What's up, you guys? Before we get into the pod, I wanted to make sure you guys knew it's half off everything on peoplemade.shop. We got a few different types of t-shirts, super high quality. Hoodies are fire. We got 3 different colors. Listen, you know what we stand for. We don't believe anyone is self-made. We believe everyone is people-made. Get some merch for yourself, or how about you buy a gift for somebody that might have influenced you to be where you're at today. peoplemade.shop. Don't miss out on the drop. When it's sold out, it's over, and you don't know when the next drop's coming. Go get it. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the People Made Show, where we don't believe anyone is self-made, but we believe everyone is people-made. If it wasn't for the people you know, the people you talk to, the people you're exposed to, you wouldn't be who you are today. I'm your host, Sal Sortino. We got a very special guest in the building. My own blood, my first cousin, my #1 producer on the insurance team.
Damn, son.
You know, what else can we say? Mr. Young Stunner, Mr. Handsome, Sam Seagull in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's up, dude? Thank you for having me. I'm excited to kick off this podcast. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I've actually been waiting for it for so long.
I know, we've been talking about it a long time.
I know, it's a long time coming.
We've been messing around down in this podcast studio, fucking around, not filming anything productive, but having fun with it for a little while. It's good to actually have the cameras on and filming something legit.
Yeah, I know. How long has this been here like this? You know, with the...
I don't know. You would know.
I think it was July.
No, July's when I moved in.
No, but maybe August. When I moved here in August, you didn't have everything in here. You didn't have the couch, but you had the wall up. You probably had the wall up in August. So it's been a long time.
I think I probably had it all the way done in November.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Right? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's fair.
But
looks beautiful. Looks great. Perfect spot. I was telling my barber today about it, and I said it's just a perfect
give
spot.
your barber a shout out.
Shout out to Safe Bet Cuts, my guy. He's a real G with it.
Appointment
He's a real
only.
artist. Appointment only. You got to go on styleseats.com. I can send you the link. He doesn't have a promo code for me
Yeah, you
yet.
better get his ass a promo code. That's what I was about to say.
We can work that out. I know he's a businessman, so we might have to work that out, Steve.
Well, thanks for being here, bro.
Well, thanks for having me.
So just so everyone knows, you know, Sam's going to be my occasional co-host. You know, we got some really exciting guests, but obviously Sam's, really close, and we're going to chop it up on here, have some fun. But let's tell the people a little bit about you, bro. #1 producer on the insurance team. Tell us, you know, we are in March Madness. Mm-hmm. Let's kind of tell the people real quick, you know, not to get too deep into it, but a top producer on the team. What was your paycheck last week?
Hold on. First, what was that segment you were gonna call? You were gonna call this?
No. We'll get into that. This is not the segment. You'll know when the segment's coming. Let's tell them how much you made last week. I think it's important for people to know.
Yeah.
It's not, like our audience is not. If they're haters, they're just gonna get the traction up on the videos. But we want to motivate people, especially people your age. First off, how old are you?
I'm 20.
20.
I'll turn 21 in June.
Okay.
June 24th. But my paycheck last week was $15,000.
Damn, son.
15,000 and
15 of them fangs.
Yeah, 15 rackisons is what they say. Is what I say. I like to call them rackisons. But that felt pretty good. These push months are really fun because we make the most money. Obviously, the goal is to get that every single week. Mm-hmm. But for me, being so young, obviously, I forget sometimes I'm 20. I just have to step back and be like, it's a little crazy. But just blessed,
For sure, bro.
Super
Definitely.
blessed.
Doesn't come easy. People don't know how much work you put in. I know, but not everyone knows. Tell everyone a little bit about like what we do.
Yeah. So we basically sell life insurance. We're appointed with one of the largest insurance companies in the whole world. American Income Life. If you've heard of Globe Life, it's the field of the Texas Rangers, the Dallas Cowboys. So massive life insurance company. We sell life insurance to union members, union families, veterans, credit unions, all sorts of different markets that we specialize in. The main one is union families. And we do it virtually, which is the coolest part about it, in my opinion. And that's what ultimately makes the opportunity what it is because we get to do it virtually. And we get to meet with multiple families a day, which means we get to make multiple sales a day. But at the end of the day, we're protecting families. We're giving them peace of mind. So it's really an easy sell. And it's just how motivated you are to get in front of somebody determines their success on it. But at the end of the day, we sell life insurance, and we get paid very handsomely for that. But there's a reason for that. It's not easy. It's not a cakewalk. You don't just come in and you just make money and not give it your all. It's something that you get out what you put in. But basically, life insurance business. I got into it because we saw everybody around us. Our peers were actually killing it in the insurance business. So we that kind of brought some attention to it, and then we hopped into it ourselves.
Exactly. I was just thinking about this, and I think it's important for people to know because there's a lot of around the life insurance industry. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of other companies that might exaggerate a little bit, right? And we want to be very transparent with everybody out there. Mm-hmm. And I think it's super, super important to know, like, how much money did you have to spend last week to make $15,000?
Really zero.
Right.
I didn't have to spend anything. I didn't spend $1 on leads. I invest in phone setters.
Right. Like assistants.
Assistants, which, every business has.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just going to obviously make my numbers better as if I invest a little bit into it. Obviously, I could do it by myself. When I first started, the first couple months, I had no phone setter. I had no investment, just the $300 I spent on the license and the pre-licensing courses, and then decided to get a phone setter. But ultimately, I didn't really need to spend anything. But as you go on, you can invest in certain things. The biggest thing is we don't have to invest in our customers. Right. To get our customers. Our customers are free, which that is basically free money.
It's an anomaly in the insurance business.
Yeah. You'll see other insurance companies where, you'll have 150% commission, but you have to spend $2,000 on leads. And those leads could be filtered through different vendors. You could have this and that. And then, you get a charge back, and now you're getting 150% of your commission charged back.
Yep.
So there's different variables to each, insurance company that you go through. But with AIL, we're obviously very happy. I just looked it up the other day. American Income is the highest per agent, like average paid per agent. It's like $75,000 is an average. That's the most
crazy.
Out of anybody.
Crazy.
And there's people, that's on the lower end. If if you make 75 and the circles that we're in, it's kind of like, okay, what are you doing wrong?
Yeah.
But
not to minimize, that's still a lot of money.
No, not to minimize that, but put me on my ass a lot of times when like you said, I made 15,000 this week, but 50 people made more than me,
right?
As producers. Mm-hmm. So it kind of humbles you, but you kind of got to look at your circle and say, how much did this guy make? Can I talk to this guy? Did he make X amount of dollars this week or this month? And kind of that's how you see what your kind of competition is. Not your competition, but your circle.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I said on my Instagram story, I think yesterday, where I said I saw a video where someone said the only thing more more contagious than winning is losing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're around a whole bunch of people in sales, it's very easy for people to get a negative mindset in sales because you can throw up a goose egg on the scoreboard, right? Yeah. And you're in a negative mindset, and that is like cancer, and it spreads. Yep. Right. And I think at AO and with our team, right, we're around people that are winning at a whole different level, right? Like you said, if you make $75,000 in the circles we run with in this business, again, that's a good living. Yeah. Right. But in where we're at,
it's a good month.
Yeah, it's a good month. Exactly. It's a decent month.
It really is. It opened my eyes.
I mean, even myself, right, who, 7-figure income earner, right? Like, you get around someone like Mario, who's, my business partner. Shout out Mario. He can make $500,000 in, he makes a 6-figure check every Friday. Yeah. So it's like, that's very eye-opening, even to someone like myself, even people that might be watching that are already in a field where they're having success, right? But they're not around people that are having more success than them. Right. It just goes to show you can really elevate your game by being around people that are winning at a whole different level.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
100% agree. 100%. Because you go to a different life insurance company, and the guy at the top is making 50.
Yeah.
Then you kind of have to, 50,000 in a month, which is great.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at it from the outside looking in, I want to be on the guy's team who's making 250
Yeah.
in a month.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to be aware of your surroundings.
No, for
Obviously,
sure.
you kind of, how you in sports, if you played a team that's better than you, if you played a team that's worse than you, you kind of stoop down to their level sometimes. Or if you play a team that's better, you might play better.
Exactly.
So I think that analogy is, translates to business as well.
For sure. For sure. I saw another video online. It's funny. You can learn a lot by just being on Instagram and TikTok sometimes if you're on the right algorithm.
That's right.
If you're not watching, people doing
YouTube
dances.
University.
And, you can get a real education on there. I saw someone, and I'm just calling myself out right now, but I have notes in my phone for our conversation today. But I saw him say, and again, I'm calling myself out. He said, if I put my phone down, right, and I'm like talking to you like this, you're going to think that you're the most important thing. As soon as I pick up this phone, and even if I'm going like this, it makes it feel like this is more important than the person sitting across from me, right? Yeah. And I believe that. I think that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm just calling myself out right now as I went to pick up my phone to look at my notes. I'm like, that I am really contradicting myself.
It's relative.
Yeah.
It's relative, I believe. Because that phone, a lot of times is, you need it. It's a moneymaker,
Yeah.
For people like us.
Yeah,
So
hell yeah.
it's, if
Yeah,
we didn't
no.
have phones, it's like, unless this was some sort of formal, it depends when and where, it's relative. If this was like a serious, where we had some serious business to do and you're
Yeah.
looking at your phone, then
That'd be
I
a
might not
problem.
think I'm important,
For
but
sure.
it's all relative.
Right. Well, tell me this. So you've been in the insurance business how long?
Exactly a year. So I got in the field March of last year. March was my first year. March is my first month. Last year, which was March Madness, which is a big push month. So I thought it was super cool that I got to come into that month. It didn't take me long to realize that month was, kind of sets a tone for the rest of the year for sure. But exactly a year.
Yeah, and what was your best month so far?
My best month was July. I wrote 50,000. I made about 35.
35,000 in July would have been your what month in the business?
That was 5th or 6th month.
Okay, so
March,
call
April, May,
your,
June,
just call
July.
your 6th. That's
Fifth month, 6th month. Yeah.
Okay. You made $35,000 in income
Uh-huh.
in your 5th month in the business.
Yeah.
See, that right there is why this business is insane.
Oh,
Show
yeah.
me another business where you can make that happen. That's why, people know me as a real estate guy, and I'll always be a real estate guy, right?
Mhm.
But it's hard to ignore the fact that there's people out there that can, in their 5th, 6th month in a brand new industry, be able to make tens of thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah.
That was honestly, one of the triggers for me, is when you made that much money that quickly, it was like, well, what the fuck?
Right.
This is crazy.
Well,
Right.
yeah, and what we saw, I mean, we peeped it before,
Yeah.
before I even came in. We peeped it like, these guys making 50, 60 a month, and we know damn sure, not to toot our own horn, we know that we can do that, if they can do it, which is why I think we kind of had an urgency to get into it
Yeah.
so quickly. But yeah, it's almost normalized now, which it is crazy. I've looked, just out of curiosity. I don't think anybody promotes it as much as AO does, as far as what people might be making sort of income. But I truly doubt it that, you can walk in somewhere and, I mean, you can make 50 in your first month.
Yeah.
You really can.
Bananas.
You really can. But, I was blessed. I had a great first month. So I always say the first 6 months, or not the first 6 months, the first 6 weeks of the business for you is coming in is 100% the most important. Because if you get that check for $5,000-6,000 in a week, and you're used to physically working for a month for $4,000, and you just made that in a week sitting behind a computer, then it's like, I don't care if I go 3 weeks without a sale. I know what this opportunity has to offer. I know what I can accomplish, and it's addicting, a little addicting.
Definitely addicting.
Yeah.
Especially because you're getting a paycheck every single
Yeah,
Friday.
that's the coolest thing
That's
about
crazy, right? I'll say, when you came into this business, I just want to make sure everyone knows, right? Making $35,000 in your 6th month of the business, it's not necessarily the norm, right? Obviously, you can tell by just how Sam's talking, he's a sharp motherfucker, all right? And then on top of that, well, you had some sales experience. So let's talk about that, right? What did you do before you got into the insurance industry?
Great question. So this was ultimately what's, we'll talk about this probably a little bit later, but, you know, like the whole story of how that happened. But I was working for you and your best friend Anthony at the time. You guys were partners in a wholesale business, and I had probably the best sales experience that you could possibly get in that. I just kind of got through into the fire there, and I was on the phones all day speaking to random people, and I learned a lot as far as sales and how to get somebody to exactly where you want them to be, because that's part of sales, is just getting somebody on your side, but also that taught me a lot about rapport and things like that. But it was the wholesale business, so basically I was the acquisitions. Which acquisitions means you appoint something.
Yeah, so let me kind of break down real quick. So obviously I own a company called Sold Simple Property Solutions. We're primarily a real estate wholesale business. Obviously I have different branches of the real estate company, but that's primarily wholesale, where our duty, our mission as a company is to source off-market deals, to either source for ourselves or to source for other investors to buy. So Sam was on the acquisition side, meaning he was the one acquiring these contracts, these properties to potentially buy or flip. So he's out there, let's be honest, right? We're making discounted offers on properties. So when we're calling, 9 times out of 10, really, these people aren't even expecting an offer, right? They're just, we're cold calling a lot. Very, very, very cold. Slightly warm leads, right? They've been slightly vetted, but still pretty cold.
Yeah.
Sam's making an offer. If their property's worth $100,000, we got to make sure there's meat in the bone, right? We're going to try to get it as low as we can. We're an investment company. What does that lead to? A whole lot of fuck yous and a whole lot of hell no's. Don't call me, right? So you're building up a sales callus, right? Being numb to no. Because like I told you from day one, when we always, what's my line?
Whoever hears the most no's makes the most dough.
Exactly. So Sam had that built up for a long time in the wholesale business. And I truly think if anyone's listening, if they're in the wholesale business, it's a really hard business. I think it's really hard to scale. We spend a lot of money. You saw that.
Yeah.
We continue to spend a lot of money. That's why we're able to make the amount of money that we make in the real estate business. However, it's difficult to get to that level. I don't know many wholesalers that started out and within their 6 months are consistently making tens of thousands of dollars a month for themselves, right?
Yeah,
You might be able to find a deal here, find a deal there. So I know a lot of people see these gurus online and they want to get into wholesaling real estate. Maybe you gave that a shot. If you did, I can tell you from experience with someone like Sam and even like someone like Randy who's on our team, right? They have that background. They have that mental sales callus, right? To hear no. If that's someone listening, those traits that you learn in the wholesale business, you can speak to it better than I can probably, but seems to translate pretty damn well into our business.
For sure. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. So wholesaling gives you that crocodile skin that's needed in sales, obviously. But I was just talking to a kid today. I was DMing him, and he's wholesaling real estate, actually. I just said, hey, try the life insurance business. And I just said that the skills are going to translate very, very well.
Yeah.
Because if you're cold calling people, or if you're lowballing somebody on a house, which a lot of times it wasn't just lowballing. A lot of times these people were in distress situations where we genuinely helped them out.
100%.
But if you have the guts to call somebody and offer them a very, very sometimes disrespectful offer, even if they're not in a distressed situation, it's just what our job is. That's what we do. If you can get the motivation to do that, over and over and over again, and get told no over and over and over again, when you hop into something like life insurance, you're going to pick up the phone and the person's going to know that they're going to expect you to call, and they're going to say, oh, okay, yeah, with my union, okay, you're with local 277, this and that. So it was a whole shift for me as far as my first day on the phones in insurance. First 3 people I called, it's not always going to be like this, obviously, but first 3 people I called, first 3 answered, booked all 3 of them. And they're like, oh yeah, I filled that out. You know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, great. I'm just going to read the script in front of me. Obviously there were scripts for wholesaling, but it wasn't as, detailed, because you never knew what somebody was going to say. Like in insurance, there's only so many things somebody can rebuttal you with.
Right.
But in wholesaling business, you're just getting told no and over and over and over again. And the thing about insurance versus wholesaling or real estate is, I might speak to you in the real estate business on day 1 and then not get paid or not get a deal until day 180.
For sure.
And what's different about about wholesale is I'm going to speak to you on day one. I'm going to get paid on day one. So that was like a big, because I already had that, I was going after it, even in the wholesale business, knowing I'm not getting paid for 3 months. But if I knew I could pick up the phone and on the other side I could get paid today, I knew I could get money. There's nothing between that. Then there was like a, whole really just like.
You become a commission junkie.
Right. It's like obviously, there's, commission junkie, this, that. You don't want to like be like a, pushy salesman or like a commission breath kind of guy. But it was like just sparked that.
Yeah, sparks that in you. I mean, we know that, don't get it misconstrued. We know if you lead with value, the money will come. We're always leading with value, but we like nice things too. So of course, we get excited. Yeah.
And it's a badass product too. It's when you die, we're gonna pay your family to make sure that they don't have to worry financially. Because you can't keep your financial contribution to your family forever. That goes away when you die. So it's
way too many GoFundMe pages all over Facebook. Anytime you get on there,
GoFundMe. Like seriously, I saw probably 2 GoFundMes today. Yeah, I'm not lying.
Guys, if you're watching my podcast and you think that you might be a good fit for my team, I am hiring salespeople. Yes, I'm hiring salespeople for Team AO People Made. Well, we sell life insurance and help protect families' futures. As you know, I'm big in sales, especially in the life insurance industry. We're able to help people and make significant incomes along the way. If you think you're a good fit, click the link in the description and request an interview, or click the link in my bio and request an interview there. I look forward to talking to you.
Chicken bong, ding dong.
Donkey Kong.
All right, just hop into it.
Shimmy Schlong.
Yeah, go Lakers.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? I remember that like it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we were eating them popsicles out in
what was his name?
West Tennessee.
What was his name?
Who?
Roger Staubach.
Roger Staubach. Yep, he was my backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could throw the pigskin for real, but he was riding the bench when old Billy Bob, Jimmy June was in there.
Bet he would.
I was slinging that thing 40 yards through the air.
50. Thought it was 50. All right.
So I was thinking about it, and I don't know what made me think of this, but when you were a kid, right? Because I've obviously known you since you were born. I think I might have been to the hospital when you were born.
Throw up that picture of Sal and I with the white beaters on.
True, pop that up there. What did you think you were going to end up doing, or did you think we were going to end up working together, or like, you know, because we are 8.5 years apart. Yeah. So, like, what did you think that was going to happen, or what? Just tell me a little bit about that.
To be truthful with you, I had zero clue. Obviously, we were in a position where, our grandpa was very successful. We saw the nice things he had, so we were exposed to those things. So I always knew that I wanted more. Always knew I wanted nice things. I knew I wanted to be successful, some sort of businessman. My dad was in sales, and he'd always tell me he's a businessman. And, I aspired to be that. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want to, nothing against this, but I knew I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to, coach sports. I didn't want to, work, at the Pony or work at, I didn't want to really run a restaurant starting out. So, growing up, obviously, when we were younger, I didn't really obviously know what I wanted to do. But as far as our relationship when we were younger, we're 8 years apart. But I think that's, I really saw you, and you always wanted more as well. We like the same things. But I never really knew what I wanted to do. But what happened is we were younger, and we'd always kick it at the family gatherings.
A few times, like how many times a year did we do? Like 4, maybe 4?
Yeah, and we were too far apart in age to like, really kick it outside of that. And every time we'd have family gatherings, I'd always have to Mom, is Sal coming? And you'd always come with some nice clothes on. You have a watch on. So I'd always think, what is Sal doing? But that's we kind of got a little bit older, but still younger. Still always wanted to be your friend, but we were too far, in age to really, but we knew that we liked the same things. Yeah. We were just too far of an age gap. And as I got older, I started to think about that more like, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to college? Do I want to, try and just skip college and, get a job and, save some money and then figure it out from there? And then when I got in high school, it was probably my freshman, sophomore year. You had your real estate license. Maybe I was in, maybe 8th grade, probably my freshman year. You just got your real estate license.
Yep.
And, that always, attracted me. I always liked the idea of being a realtor. I always was like, you know, I could fall back on that at some point. You know, I could always get that license or something. And I saw you were killing it. I saw you and your mom were killing it. You were still living in Sandusky at the time. I was obviously still in high school hooping. You always showed love when I was hooping. And I saw you obviously, you know, start to, you know, become really successful. And I always knew, you know, even when we were younger, your mom would always say it too. We're always going to work together. We're always going to work together. I just didn't know what it was going to be.
My mom did always say that.
Yeah, she always did.
Yeah.
Like you can go back in a picture from, you know, 6 years ago, and you know, your mom comments on it. You know, Sal and Sam are going to be running a business someday, which is crazy. And you know, so I always had that in mind. I always wanted to be in business with you. And then when I got older in high school, I saw you started to kill it. And then you moved to Cleveland, and then you started buying real estate. Then I was really paying attention, but we still weren't close yet. We still didn't, you know, talk much. You know, we just kind of check in sometimes. And then I decided to play football my senior year of high school. And then, you know, still didn't know what I wanted to do, but I fell in love with football. And so I ultimately, you know, wasn't like a, you know, super crazy football player, but I, you know, got recruited by a school at John Carroll in Cleveland, and didn't know what I wanted to do still. I was a business major, marketing, you know, some BS, and had no clue what I wanted to do. And I just thought I'd, you know, figure it out along the way like most people are doing because, you know, again, didn't know what I wanted to do. So went to John Carroll. I knew you were in Cleveland as well. So I knew I always had somebody there as far as family who was 10, 15 minutes away. You know, that made a part of my decision to go there. It really did, even if we weren't as close yet. And I went there, played football, you know, was there for so I went to camp in early August. And then the second game was probably early September, or first game was probably end of August, early September. Second game was September. In the second game, I ended up breaking my leg. And I can swear to God, it was that week. I have the text messages. That week, even before I broke my leg, I was texting you. I texted you and I said, again, we're still not close, never kicked it, but I still texted you. And I said, yo, I'm in calculus right now. What is this shit? Like, what did you do? What did you drop out of? Like, you know, like, what should I get into? And you responded, and I could pull this text up too, send it to San Antonio. Calculus is the sole reason I dropped out of college. Yeah. And
that's so true.
Yeah. And that week, I swear to God, that week, and you know, you were just like, you said, fucking drop out. And that week, literally that week, I go to the football game, break my leg. And I always told myself if I broke my leg in football, because it was like I played football 1 year in high school. Like it was kind of like a, you know, spontaneous thing that I was playing football. So I always told myself that if I broke my leg, if I, you know, broke any sort of major bone where I was going to be off my feet, I'm not going back. Right. And, you know, it was crazy that I was just texting you that week talking about I'm so confused in calculus.
Yeah, we had a long talk on the phone, I think even.
That was after. Okay. So I, you know, break my leg. I go home. I'm sitting there. I'm off my feet for 6 months, which for me is insane because, you know, I always want to be doing something. You know, we got to use our feet, right? Like, how do you expect to be off my feet for 6 months? You know, it's insane. I've never broken a bone before. So I'm at home, and I'm, like, down in the dumps. And, you know, I was really at, like, a super low point in my life. Like, you know, didn't know what I wanted to do. Still didn't know. But, you know, I was just using football in school as kind of like a delay, you know, for that. And then I break my leg, so I'm at home now. Not sure what I want to do. Again, you know, kind of depressed. And I just remember you would call me and, you know, we talk. And I remember talking to you on the phone for about an hour and a half when we talked that one time. You said there's insurance, there's, you know, architecture. You want me to get into architecture. And then, you know, real estate license. I remember it was property and casualty insurance they were talking about too.
And I don't know if you're going to mention this, but we can pull this up too. It's funny enough. We might have been talking about a different type of insurance overall, but I have a text that I sent you that said, you should get in the insurance business. If you do that, I will 100% do that with you.
Yep.
Yeah, I literally said that in a text. I have a screenshot of it.
I remember it.
So, but go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you out. I was wondering if you remembered that text.
I remember it. And what was I saying? So we were on the phone. We had that conversation. I still have the notes from it too when we talked. And then, you know, right around that time is when you started the business with Anthony, when you started Sold Simple. So a couple times you know, I was at home, you know, by myself. So you offered to bring me lunch, you know, a few times. And, you know, which I thought was really cool. And then the times you'd come over, you know, you'd talk about the wholesale business. and I thought it was the coolest shit ever, and I was so fascinated by it, and I understood it, and I was, I wanted to be a part of that. So, just subconsciously. So what I did was I like dug into the whole wholesaling world of real estate. You said go on YouTube, watch this guy, watch Brent Daniels, watch
TTP,
these videos, TTP, and I just fell in love with it. So I ended up going on Facebook and calling Facebook leads, and I ended up buying like this software and pulled this list and skip trace the list.
What software was it?
PropStream.
PropStream. Shout out PropStream. Make sure you get that downloaded, link in bio.
Yep. And so I fell in love with wholesaling. You started talking about, you'd be texting me about it. I'd be asking you questions. And again, I was doing all this subconsciously, knowing that in the back of my head that I wanted to work with you guys. And, I think it was one day I told you guys, hey, look at this property. I want you to go buy it, this and that. It wasn't a deal. But it was just the fact that I was reaching out to you guys and being proactive with it.
Yeah, and I want to give my point of view on that. So Sam started becoming obsessed with real estate. But what's nice about young people, sometimes, not all young people, but with Sam in particular, this is when I remember like being like, holy shit, this kid's a savage. When you call me and you're like, hey, I think I got a deal. And I'm like, what do you mean you got a deal? And you're like to what extent, right? And I don't remember all the details exactly. You might know better than me. But you said something like, I got a guy, he wants this price for this house. I got him ready to agree to it or something. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because it probably was like 1 week of me like telling you to look up Brent Daniels on YouTube, and I'm like, he's already making offers to people on Zillow, I was
sitting there with my feet up in the TV room.
Like, this kid is a savage. And to be honest with you, right, I'm not gonna lie, like, we were looking, right, for someone to be an acquisition manager. Did I think it was gonna be my 19-year-old or 18-year-old cousin? No. But I thought to myself, well, this kid is a fucking savage if he's calling people without knowing a damn thing and making offers. So I'm like, well, shit, we can turn him into an absolute monster if he's got that without us teaching him a thing.
For sure.
Right? And so that's when the light bulb went off that I thought you'd be good at it, but also I thought it's going to be good for the company too.
For sure.
I thought you'd be really good at it. So that's a credit to you. It's not like I just did it because you were my cousin. I did it because you showed that you had that savage in you, that sales savageness that you need. But yeah, I mean that's crazy to think about, right? Because even on the last episode with my mom, we talk about the butterfly effect, which we talk about a lot, and really, I mean, it's more for you to say, but I think breaking your leg really was the ultimate butterfly effect.
Oh my gosh. And like I said, looking back, I was, down in the dumps. Like, I was depressed, probably, the saddest I've ever been. And, I got all skinny, I lost a bunch of weight. I worked so hard to get in like, really great shape for football, and I was so excited about it. Then boom, broken leg. But, I think looking back at that now, like, now I know everything happens for a reason. Everything 100% happens for a reason. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's hard to say. Good or bad, hard to say. That's how I kind of look at everything. Oh, I made $15,000 this week. It's good or bad. It's hard to say. It could be really bad. Could go blow it on, strippers.
Yeah.
But that'd be bad.
Yeah.
It'd be good if I didn't.
I mean.
But anyway, so I wanted to finish this Sold Simple story because this is like a turning point for me in my life, and I didn't want to grow up too fast, but like this is where I felt like I really grew up. And it's a lot, because of you and, Anthony as well. But I was making those calls from home. And then, one day you said, we've got a CRM with, 3,000 leads in it. Why don't you just take a whack at those? And I was like, oh, let's go. And I remember that day I started calling on those leads, and, I started to actually have a little bit of success. I didn't have any deals yet, but I had traction. I set appointments, and, I was talking to you guys about the appointments. I remember one time you walked into my house and I was on the phone with like a $2 million building.
This story is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
You could tell it. You could go.
Yeah, so I walk in and Sam's on the phone with a he's upstairs in his house. I remember it vividly. Walk upstairs and I hear him on the phone. It's with a lead that's in the CRM, right? And he's talking about a commercial building, right? And Sam's starting to get a little more experience, but you know, you got
no clue what I was
you
doing
got to
at the
speak
end
the
of the day.
lingo a little bit when you're
Yeah.
talking to somebody that actually knows what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So Sam's on the phone, and I'm like lipping, like he's on the phone right here, right? And I'm like saying like, say this, right? Say that, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
Telling you what to say, and you're just looking at me, and you're doing it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
going well, and you get the appointment, and I'm like, oh, this is lit, right? And at the very end of the call, he goes, "How old are you, Sam?" And I, even myself, like Sam got like looked at me like what do I say? And even myself, I'm like, fuck, what do I
Yeah.
say here, right?
Yeah.
So I go, 30. Tell him you're 30. And he looks at me. You look at me and you go, "I'm 30 years old, sir." I'm like, oh gosh.
Tell them about the appointment. What happened
So
when you
then
showed
they
up?
have to go to the appointment, and Sam and my previous business partner Anthony, they go to the appointment. Anthony had to go as Sam because Anthony's my age, well, just about my age, so closer to 30. He wasn't 30 either,
No.
but closer to 30. And so Sam went as Anthony, and Anthony went as Sam.
Yeah.
So you know that is hilarious. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you brought that up. I wouldn't even have mentioned that. That's
Yeah.
funny as fuck.
We have a lot of those funny stories where, you know, a lot of it was
Oh,
you guys.
can I tell another one? Can I tell another one?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're gonna say too.
The retirement one, or which
Yeah,
one?
the retirement one.
This one is so funny. So all the young
gotta-
people out, we Sam's young, like we're not poking fun. I think it's funny
No,
to
no,
talk
no.
about.
It's funny to
like
look back
when
at.
you're young, you really don't realize. Like I probably was the same way. I just don't. I'm older now, so
Yeah, you
I'm
just wanna do the
wiser.
best you can.
Yeah. So but when you're young,
Even if it doesn't sound that good.
you don't really. There's so many things in the real world you don't know until you're in the real world,
Yeah.
right? You just simply don't. So, for example, Sam had that savage in him, right? But some people, I think it's fair to say, like, can be too savage. Like, you can be a little too
Yeah.
cold, right?
Yeah.
You learn about building rapport, like you talked about. You know, people want to work with people they like, right? There's no doubt about that. So I was trying to give Sam, like, a little bit of a lesson on building rapport and being relatable. And he's on the phone with another potential lead. It was a really good lead. And I'm like, again, he's in my living room. He's on the phone, gets the call back from the potential client with a property sell, and he's like, got her on speaker, I think. And again, I'm like lipping, like whispering to help him try to build rapport. And she's like, yeah, unfortunately, I just had to put my mother in a nursing home, which obviously is an unfortunate situation. But I tell Sam, like engage, like don't just go right back to, back to the property, right? Build on that so she can build a little more trust in the relationship. So obviously that means, you know, maybe ask what's like, how long has that been going on, or just, you know, I'm sorry to hear that, and maybe elaborate a little bit. But Sam, again, he was super young, right? And in learning, he goes, I had to put my mom in a nursing home recently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh gosh.
I was just trying to
I'm not
relate.
saying completely lie to the lady. And then,
I wanted to make her feel okay.
yeah. So he had good intentions, obviously, with what he was saying. But it was like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then what was the next question she asked you?
Oh yeah, which one?
Which one? I don't even know any nursing homes. Like what are we supposed to say there?
I think I said like Sacred Hearts or something.
No, you didn't. You said this. You said, oh, it's not a good one. You don't want to send her there. And she's
No, I said it's out in Toledo.
yeah, but I think I'm almost positive. You might have said it's out in Toledo, but you almost positive you said it's not a good one. Like,
Yeah, like,
and
you
then
don't
she's
wanna
like,
go there.
oh, that's not good. I'm sorry to hear that or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, get off of that now. Get
Yeah.
off of that. But
For sure.
But just we have so many funny stories, but I think those two are
Yeah.
pretty damn funny.
What I realize in that is, you know, they will sell to you because they like you. They 100% will sell to you.
Yeah.
Stacy, you know, sold because she liked us.
Yeah.
They will sell to you because they like you. They will sell to you for less money because they trust you and they like you.
Wasn't there one in Kansas City that loved you? Gave a review?
Yep,
Yeah.
I remember her.
Yep.
But yeah, the wholesale business was like a super, you know, just really elevated me, and gave me a lot of confidence. You know, taught me how to speak to people.
Yeah.
You know how people might be in situations, and you know how to navigate through certain things or transact the whole real estate transaction, as far as making sure you get a property under contract, making sure the documents signed, making sure there's, the house is sound, knowing the value of the house. So I'll be able to use that knowledge forever.
Right.
But I remember just still being at home doing that. I was probably a few weeks into it. It was like, now it's like November, December. And I haven't even made $1 yet from it. And I probably started calling in December, like really, really started calling in December. And I haven't made $1 yet, which, was no problem for me. I didn't care. And obviously because I knew it took time and I was already thinking about moving here. I wanted to be here because I've already, I was still on crutches. I came up to the office. You guys just moved in the office and I was still on crutches. I remember going to properties in crutches and I'd drive back. I was like, I got to be there. I got to find a way to, get a spot there. I know that's what's going to be best for me. I can't still be in Sandusky because, I didn't know, at the end of the day, you never know, but I knew if I moved here and I really gave it my all, that it was going to work out no matter what. I know I had you, if I didn't, you weren't my blood, you weren't my cousin, I probably wouldn't have moved here.
Right.
But I really wanted to move here and I ended up finding a spot right down the street
From the office.
Again, before I even made $1, I had money saved up from my graduation party that I was going to use for college and I had to pay for anything for college because I wasn't there long.
Yeah.
So they didn't, make me pay any student, whatever you
tuition.
call it, and tuition. Yeah. And then I remember that week, the first week that I moved here, we closed Southern Road.
Yep.
And I had that, nice check. It was like $4,000 or $5,000. And I was like, kind of back on my feet, like knew I had, some money, a little bit of money in the bank.
The best feeling. That first check is the best feeling in the world.
Yep. And then, 2 weeks later, I had another closing. So, that was, I remember that vividly. And I remember thinking like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be all right. And then this is going to be good for me. And then ultimately we're, here 2 years later. But you, like, I can never, never thank you enough. Seriously. It's going to make me emotional.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it a lot. Listen, opportunities mean nothing.
I'm not crying because the camera right now.
Opportunities mean nothing, man, if you don't take advantage of it. So, so I appreciate you just as much as you appreciate me. I want you to make sure you know that, 100%. I don't think I'd be where I am right now if it wasn't for you either. So I think that goes both ways.
For sure. But even like, it wasn't just business as well. Like you brought me to your friends too. So it was, like I said, super like changing point for me in my life. Cause I had, like you said, what did you want to do when you were younger? What did you want to do in high school? I had zero clue. So that like really, will stick with me forever for sure. Gave me a lot of confidence. You gave me a lot of confidence. Especially like in the, it's not easy for someone, that was my age to like hop into something like that and, really take it all in, because I knew that it was an opportunity that I could run with, no matter where it took me. Now it took us to insurance, even if it wasn't going to be the Sold Simple, forever, because, you never know what can happen. Other opportunities can come, but you have to, like, if you see an opportunity, you have to absolutely run with it. Yeah. That's what a lot of people that come into insurance and, they don't see the full opportunity and they don't run with it. Like, you just got to run with it because you guys got to take that leap and burn the fucking boats.
Exactly.
Like, there's no way back,
And I think that's one thing that maybe it's just in our DNA, but I think we both have that all-in, philosophy that a lot of people just don't have. Yeah. I think that's a major blessing that we see something and we swing the fucking bat.
Yeah, facts.
Like I'm sure you could say that about me over and over and over again. Yep. Like, I don't fuck around. Nope. When I see it, I swing the bat. For sure. Win or lose, I'm swinging the bat. I'm never going to strike out looking. I'm never going to watch someone else take the opportunity that I had. Right. I'm going to take it. And if I fail, I swung. Exactly. So, I think that's a mentality a lot of people need to have. But yeah, bro, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. Like I said, I'm grateful for you, just as grateful for you. So I'll make sure that's known. I think
we're emotional people, by the way. At least I'm emotional. I get that from my mama. For sure.
I think, but I think it's important, not to point out like from our relationship, just for other people watching. A mentor is so important, right? Yeah. Not everyone has one. That's why I always say, and Mario says it too. We're so big on exposure. Because we're blessed, like you said, we had a grandfather who lived the life we wanted to live. So we're exposed to what we wanted, which is super important. People aren't exposed to that, Yeah. So if you're able to find a mentor, soak it all up, right? Yep. I mean, I have mentors all over the place. I consider all my friends are mentors to me, to be honest. Yeah. I have a very successful group of friends. You know, today I met with James House. Shout out James House. You know, nearly like 20 restaurants in Akron. It's mega successful.
Yep.
I get to talk to him whenever I want. Guy like Bobby George, one of the most powerful guys in Cleveland. I'm with him at least once a week on average. I'd say I see him. You know, Joe Orvik, one of my best friends, successful partners with Bobby. So, you know, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Right. And that, I think you can see that in me that those relationships are crucial.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I think everyone needs to understand that.
Right.
Force yourself to be in those rooms.
Yep.
I go to rooms. I would be embarrassed to say the names because they're my good friends at this point, right? But there's people who are my good friends today, and you know this, that I strategically made my friends.
Yeah,
I wanted them to be my friends.
Yeah.
Right. I went
power.
to a certain room,
Superpower.
and put myself in a situation to, like you said, my business superpower, I say, is relationship building, right? Yep. Being likable is an asset that's invaluable.
Yep.
Right. So just be strategic, be intentional with the environments you put yourself in. I don't care where you come from. If you come from nothing, if you come from this or that, it might be more difficult. I'm not saying it's not. Well, of course, you have an advantage in life if you had resources, right? However, do all you can to put yourself in those rooms. Because guys like you and me, we're not going to judge you where you came from.
For sure.
You know, we have friends from all over the place.
Yeah.
So, you know, firm believer in treating the CEO with the same respect as the janitor. You know, I think we were raised that way. So,
yep, absolutely.
A lot of people let that success get to their head, but, you know, those aren't people that you want to learn from.
Yeah,
so.
100%. It's like, show me your friends, show you your future.
Exactly.
But I think, like, you know, the friend groups, like, you know, that you brought me in Cleveland, because, you know, Cleveland's not very big.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like I know a lot of people, you know, from living here in 2 years. So, you know, like, especially, you know, the closer friends or like the very successful people that, like you just mentioned, you know, for me to be around those people, you know, for anyone who's super young and, you know, wants, you know, doesn't go to college, kind of wants more out of life, you know, right now, and wants to be in those circles, like, you know, that, because, you know, for me, I you know, want to compete, you know, I want to compete, so that, you know, me making $15,000 a month might not seem, you know, to me, that doesn't seem that great.
Yeah.
Because of what's around me. You know, that's to somebody, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's a lot of money, but to somebody, you know, that could be, you know, the holy grail. You know, but I feel like if you're around people who, you know, at a much higher level than you, you're gonna, like we said, play up to their level, or at least compete.
Yeah.
You know, it makes, you know, you guys are wearing the, you know, $40,000 watches, you're driving the Bentleys, driving the, you know, Mercedes GTs, the Range Rovers. So, like, for me, that is just like, you know, obviously those are materialistic things, but, you know, we like those things, and those things are motivating to us. So I think if you're around that stuff, you know, that is super huge for, you know, like you said, someone who if they're a mentor, or if you're just in that circle, you know, like, that is going to play a big part in your success, I truly believe.
100%. I mean, just from your point of view, same from mine. I totally agree. I think it's so important to get jealousy and hate out of your thoughts. We all fall into that. You know, even myself, I'm sure anybody, right, falls into times where, like, they get a little jealous. I might hate on somebody a little bit. I try so hard to, as soon as I get any bit of, like, jealousy or hate in my brain, to leave it, ignore it. That's the fucking devil, because I get motivated by other people, and I hope that people don't look at me and feel that way. You know, I hope people get motivated by me, and they don't look at it in a negative light. Because you can take a negative spin on anything, right? Like you said, like
look at the glass half full.
Exactly, like wearing a $50,000 watch, right? People would say, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Why do you need that for?" Or you can look at something in a negative light, or you could say, that man worked really hard for that.
Right,
Good for him. Right. I love that. How did he do that? Right. That's how we are. And I think that mindset is crucial if you want that life. Right.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want that life, it's still important to be happy for people.
Right.
Right. Whether you don't have to want to drive a Rolls Royce to be my friend. Like, I don't care. Like, if you're you know, someone doesn't make that much money and you just dream to having your Toyota Camry, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone wants different things in life. We're not saying you have to be that way, of course, but just saying be happy for people. You know, other people have different motivators in life. I happen to like to drive a Bentley and
Yeah.
wear a $50,000 watch, you know? Doesn't mean you have to, right?
Right.
But if someone has 10 Rolls Royces in the garage, I'm not going to hate on them. I'm going to say, how the hell did you do that? You know?
At the end of the day, I'm probably going to respect you a little
Yeah.
bit more because you have to have some sort of intellect to accomplish that.
For sure.
You have to have some sort of, life is a game, you know, and, you know, we're all competitive, so we want to win the game, whether that's making the most money, whether that's, you know, being loved the most, whether that's having the most friends.
Helping
you know,
the most people.
Yeah, whatever you know, you feel is wins the game for you.
I love that analogy.
You know, so.
I never even heard that. Did you just come up with that? That's
did.
fire, bro.
Clip that.
Yeah, that's just fire. What you said? Whatever your game. What? Say that again.
Whatever wins the game for you.
That is fire. I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. For real.
You didn't have to stop it. Now
Damn,
it's
Mom,
cool.
I'm sorry. That shit is sick. I can't help it. Like, that's sick. I'm going to use that now. Guys, you know I tell you how important it is to find real estate deals off market. The biggest resource that helped me from the beginning to this day is PropStream. PropStream is going to give you so many tools and resources to help you find deals off market. I'm talking about data, I'm talking about systems, I'm talking about everything you need in one place. Click the link in the description or in my bio for PropStream to get yourself a 7-day free trial. Every day during that 7-day free trial, my team is going to be giving you a complimentary webinar explaining all the benefits to this software. You do not want to start investing in real estate, especially trying to find off-market deals without PropStream. Click the links. But I was just thinking about it along the way. I think one of the most important things you've learned, because you've seen it happen to me, is you've learned the value, because everyone knows me as a real estate guy, right? You've seen firsthand what real estate has done for my life.
Yeah.
In terms of investing. And I'm sure, you know, I know it is because you look at deals all the time, right? I know it's something you really want to get into.
Yeah.
You know, we as you know, we look at sales as a cash machine and real estate as a wealth machine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just what's your opinion of real estate at this point? I mean, you're 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You worked with me in the real estate business. Now we're working together in insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've seen me. I haven't gone one. I mean, you can attest to it. I haven't gone 1 month since we've literally been friends since you've been an adult.
Yeah.
I haven't gone a month without at least buying a piece of real estate, right? So from your point of view, like, how do you view real estate? Like from your point of view as a 20-year-old,
yeah.
You know, seeing someone like me, I just am curious.
Yeah. So I think like in anything, when I came in, obviously I was a blank canvas at everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, blank canvas in real estate, blank canvas in insurance, blank canvas basically in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was used to high school, going to bed at night, knowing I got to get up for school in the morning.
Right.
You know, so I had no clue how things work. So kind of you facilitating your whole life, I watched it. I watched, you know, you do business every single day. What you bought, how you bought it, how you knew if it was a deal, how was it not a deal, what's going to be my cash out, how am I going to refinance it? Because when I remember the first time I came to your house, it was the summer before I went to John Carroll. First time I saw your house on Scranton Road, and I was sitting there and you told me about debt. And you're like, debt is the best thing ever. Debt is great. Debt, people use debt to make money. And I'm like, how the fuck does that make sense?
Right.
Like, how does that make sense?
Because your parents and everyone else around you, not necessarily your parents,
Well, no,
but
didn't.
like does anybody in general tell you debt's bad? I mean, it's
Well,
just
like
normal.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you were explaining it to me, like I believed you.
Yeah.
But like I when you were explaining it to me, I didn't understand it. And that happened a lot of times when, you know, you'd explain something to me. At first, it wouldn't necessarily click right away, but then I think about it for the next 3 hours, and then I would go, oh, okay, and then I would never leave. So my point of view on real estate is find the deals.
Yeah.
You have to find the deals because equity is the best, you know, thing in the world. Really, you know, that's, you know, because people will buy real estate and they'll buy it casually. You know, they'll buy it, you know, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're out here hustling and finding deals, that's where you can really maximize, you know, returns you get.
Yeah.
You know, how many properties you can buy at one time. You know, how you can leverage this. And I remember when you told me about the cash out refinance, where you get your money back in, you know, 6 months or whatever the case might be, and you know there's no tax on it, and your payment goes up a little bit, but you're still cash flowing because you got a great deal. Sometimes people won't even cash flow because they don't get a great deal,
Right.
and they'll just, you know, kind of just let the tenant pay it off and just, you know, take their cashed out money,
Right.
and, you know, use that to even live. You know,
Right.
you're cashing out your properties,
And
your
still
payments,
cash flowing.
and you're still
Right.
cash flowing.
Right. 'Cause
Thousands
it is
of
important
dollars.
to know, like, you know, obviously the equity game is how you're able to grow very quickly, is the equity side of it.
Yeah.
But really the most important side, in my opinion, is the cash flow as on an investment side, right? From my point of view, you see how I play, right? So you have it at a real advanced level, right? But on a novice level, like the cash flow is always king, right?
Yeah.
Equity comes, equity goes, but the cash must always flow. Like that's one line that I'll stand by forever. However, like what you're saying, it's true. You know the advanced level of the game where we get it discounted enough that the return becomes infinite because I get all my cash out plus some.
Right.
90% of the time.
Right. And then the tenant's still paying off your mortgage. They're paying off that. So on the back end, you're making
building a savings account, right?
it's another savings account. So it's like really, if you, like I said, you don't need to cash flow really anything. But if you want to maximize it like you do, you can cash flow. But I just looked at it as like just a tool. Like when we would, I remember the first deal that really opened my eyes was I wasn't a part of Clifton. I kind of came in and saw that at the end.
Yeah.
But I remember, I don't remember what first deal it was.
It was a 9-unit deal.
Yeah, but I would really didn't see Clifton.
Okay.
What really opened my eyes was probably Southern Road, the one out there in Grafton.
Yeah. Richfield,
I mean,
right?
it was Richfield. Yeah, this house was, fucked up, and I walked up to it like, oh,
fucked up.
Like this.
We're not gonna make any money.
Yeah, like what? Like they want $75,000 for this, and then I started obviously looking at comps, and we're like, oh shit, we can make $50,000.
Yeah.
And that's when it really clicked for me. It's like you have to work smarter. Like with real estate, you could just work smarter, not harder. Really, you can't just work. You have to work smarter. So it's like the fact that you can flip a piece of paper and make $50,000, which is a very good sized deal. But we've done double that, triple that on 106.
Yeah.
And when you realize that, it's like, why would I? I know if I had that knowledge to do that. Which I've never done that on my own, obviously. Obviously at some point I will. But like, why would I ever physically work my body, to work for dollars when, you can sit behind a computer if you have that knowledge and then facilitate a transaction like that. Obviously you have to find the deal.
Yep.
It's going to be mentally challenging, but like that real estate just opened my eyes forever. Like like I told you before, that's the knowledge that I can take with me forever. So that's why I think the real estate wholesaling thing was so important for me. So the real estate is just, like I said, I see you do it every day.
Yep.
And I see you buy properties. I, started to understand the debt, interest rates, adjustable loans, the short-term debt you do. I think the cash out refinance was like the coolest thing for me to talk about. And then the big deal you did with the 1035, 1031 exchange. When you 1031 all that money and then you bought another package with it and all that money was tax free and then it's just so kind of like understanding the moves throughout it. I don't think a lot of people I don't think a lot of people get to see that, but it's not hard. Like it's not like a complex game.
Yeah,
obviously you have to have finesse, you have to be who you are to accomplish those things, but it's not like rocket science.
I would say that, right? It's not rocket science.
You get a lot of the deals you do because of who you are. People will hit you up on Facebook and say, I want $50,000 for this, and the thing's gonna rent for $1,500, and your payment's $300 on it.
Yeah.
That is like, bro.
Yeah, NBD, no brainer deals.
Right. It is worth $100.
Yeah, exactly. So that
So
all
you're gonna
comes
get
down to
75
buyer
back in 6
reputation,
months.
right? I get an influx, like I get deals at volume at this point because I've been doing it damn near 10 years now.
Yeah.
Right. The thing is, people think that it's that easy. I built that over 10 years. Right.
The concept of it is easy.
Right.
The concept of it, not getting those deals.
Yeah.
But like understanding what you need to do. It's one, but you have to. I think you do a very good job of maintaining them.
Yeah.
Now I don't think people get into real estate and, I don't like the tenants. I don't like to keep up with things. I don't like to repair this and that. So I get to see that side of it as well. I see when Mike calls you, when Mike's doing this or that, you have him running them here and that, and you got to have somebody like that, on your team. You can't just do it by yourself.
Yeah.
So I've seen it all, like, and that's, it's been super cool for me to see that every single day, but also to be a part of like I guess the wholesale business and actually, help transact those things myself was huge for me too. Because now I know I can get someone to sell the property to me.
Yeah.
At a deep discount, and that's super powerful.
For sure. And I think, you know me. I mean, we're like best friends at this point, right? So you know me on a personal level enough to know, like, I'm not trying to discredit myself at all, but I'm not a fucking rocket scientist. You
Yeah,
know?
no.
Like, I'm
No.
not some savant of anything. I just have literally become obsessed with something
Right.
to a certain degree that I think you can consider me an expert in it,
Right.
right? But I don't, you know, I'm not a, you know, a valedictorian calculus master.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of people think things are that way, and it's simply not. I mean, you just got to keep swinging the bat
For sure.
until you learn how to hit base hits.
Right.
You know, and then eventually you're gonna hit a home run.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I just think a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit. Right.
Right.
Like anybody can do it. Right.
For sure.
I had resources in terms of knowledge.
Yeah, that's
right?
all you need.
I had resources and knowledge that I took advantage of, and I swung the bat.
Right.
A lot of people can get access to the knowledge, they just don't swing the
Wasted.
bat. You know, I always say, people say knowledge is power, but it's really not, because if you have the knowledge and I don't, but you don't swing the bat, we have the same result.
Yep.
Right. So you got to swing the bat. You know, big misconception about you or even myself is that, you know, we got handouts, or we got money. Didn't get a fucking dollar, right? But we had people around us. We were exposed to successful people.
Yep.
Right. And we had access to knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
which is an advantage.
Yeah.
You know, that there's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Right. So people just need to get access to the knowledge.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
swing the bat. So for sure, segmenting from that into what you briefly mentioned earlier, we're gonna get into what we like to call the free to brag segment.
Oh shit.
Yeah, free to
Okay.
brag. You know, we as I
We've been
mentioned,
kind of bragging this whole time, not gonna lie. We could do a little
humble
more.
HB humble brags, but
Yeah.
but no, I think, I mean, dude, to be honest,
I
like,
was just kidding.
the audience truly.
Well, yeah.
The audience that we have and that I hope to grow is not an audience that gets jealous. This is an
Right.
audience that wants
We're
to
talking
see
about
it.
our life experiences
Yeah,
here.
so
We're talking like
a Grant Cardone
Nobody-
shows off that he bought the damn Rolls
Yeah.
Royce. He's not doing it to brag in your face. He do it because he said when he was a kid, he loved seeing that. When I was a
Right.
kid, I love seeing that. And my hope is that there's people watching this that are just like you and me that
Yep.
fucking love to hear about people's success.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me, what have you done recently that maybe I might know, because I know you really well. I mean, I don't know what you're going to say, but something you did in it could be the last year, however long, something you did that you're really proud of, and you know, that you might want to strut a little bit and talk about. What is something you did that you think
Yeah.
might be cool, or something you're proud of?
I want to say first, like, also growing up, I was a very like B, couple C's, maybe one A student. You know,
Mhm.
like I remember in school sometimes, you know, all my friends were super smart,
Mhm.
super duper smart. And, you know, I would look, because I didn't necessarily apply myself to school like I should have,
Yeah.
but I would low-key get made fun of sometimes. You know, I'd be like, Sam, like, you got a C on that test? Like, it was so easy. You know, so I wasn't like a scholar, you
Yeah.
know, person in school. I just want to put that out there because, you know, like you said, we're not rocket scientists,
Yeah.
you know, and I think, you know, for me as a young person, I found a lot of success, and I wasn't this like crazy smart person in school, which, you know, I feel like a lot of successful people weren't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you need to have that, you know, to be successful in the real world. And I'm not saying I've achieved success in the real world, you know, but sometimes you got to look back and, you know, kind of eat a gummy, sit down on your couch and be like, okay, what's going on here?
Mhm.
You know, like, you know, what am I really accomplishing?
Yeah.
What direction am I, you know, turning in?
Mhm.
You know, who am I becoming? You know,
Mhm.
those sorts of things. So, really, I would say, you know, I've just been proud of myself for, you know, really just taking a leap of faith.
Mhm.
And, you know, like I said, moving here what was one of the best decisions I ever made. But within this past year, once I started in the insurance business, like, you know, I always wanted to make six figures,
Mhm.
and I didn't know when that was going to come, obviously. And I obviously ended up making well over six figures last year.
Mhm.
And that was, you know, pretty big accomplishment for me, you know, to do that before the age of 21. You know, was super cool for me because I always, you know, growing up, I didn't really have a gauge on money.
Mhm.
Never, you know, I worked in high school. I worked at a golf course, worked at the Sortinos sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, but I never made real money.
Right.
And so I think it's, you know, kind of cool to look at, you know, sometimes and reflect on, you know, the past year and, you know, kind of had that sort of success that, you know, kind of growing into the person that I'm becoming.
Mhm.
But, you know, it's not all about money. But at the end of the day, in the business we're in, the success is reflected on the money that you're making.
It's a scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a scoreboard. We're keeping score. So
A scoreboard in business, whether good or bad, whoever's watching this, it's called revenue.
Yeah.
So
I think it's been cool for me to kind of feel that type of money and feel that type of success and kind of be able to do cool things and, not necessarily have to worry about it and, go travel, to Miami, get the nice dinners and, come back, buy a pair of shoes, whatever the case might be, get a cool apartment and at a young age, get a nice car. Yeah. Like I said, those are all materialistic things, but at the end of the day, it's whatever makes you happy.
For sure.
And, those things make me happy. They motivate me. They make me feel like I'm becoming a better person, and that's okay. But, I just think this past year, as far as just, success in business and, kind of who I became has made me super proud of myself at the end of the day. But yeah, it's all relative to the future. Can't dwell on the past. I've been proud of myself this past, couple years for sure. Kind of, cause again, at the end of the day, if you didn't think I was capable of working in the wholesale business, you didn't think I was capable of representing you well around your friends, for me being able to hold my own around those people or like being able to hold my own in the real world, you wouldn't have kept me around. So, sometimes I got to attribute to myself as well for becoming that type of person that, 100%. Can be respected. Yep. Cause that's, at the end of the day, I'm super young around all these people, super young in the insurance business, and all I want is respect. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've gained a little bit of that, just a little bit.
For sure.
Over a certain period of time.
And bro, you definitely gained more than a little bit for a lot of reasons. More reasons than one, not just because you made $15,000 last week.
Yeah.
Which is crazy again. But for real. But like you said, the way you carry yourself, I'm proud of you. It's not easy. You're around people that a lot of young people, not even young people my age and older would get intimidated around, right?
Right.
You're in those rooms and you demand respect, which is a cool thing.
Because I think about it sometimes. You were talking about it the other day, like, you're running around when I was 18, you're running around with an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
For me, like, I'm putting myself in your shoes. And, that's why I have a lot of respect for you too, because sometimes I think like, damn, like, I don't want my little cousin, with me, like, I don't want this little kid with me. But that just, I think shows that, you'll think I represent you well too. Mm-hmm. So that, put a lot of confidence in me too. You've never been like, hey, you can't do this with me. You can't do that with me. You've always invited me to everything. And, if that wasn't the case, I, wouldn't live here anymore,
Yeah, for sure.
'Cause I don't need to live here anymore. I work from home.
Right.
But, and I could work from home and I, don't have to pay rent and I have, could, have a cheaper car. But, they even say at AO, like, you spend a little bit more, you do a little bit more, you're just gonna motivate you.
Yeah.
So I think it's super motivating. But, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Speaking of motivating, I was thinking about how much we love sitting front row at the Cavs games.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that.
Dude, front row at the Cavs games is the best thing to do in Cleveland, like without a doubt.
It's so fun.
And it's easy for us to say it's $2,000 a ticket. I mean, sometimes you can get a steal, but so not that it's about that, but not everyone can do it.
It's a little ridiculous.
It's ridiculous for sure. But if you can afford to do it, it's fun as fuck.
Yeah, it's so
the
fun.
Players will engage with you. What people don't understand is like we talk, like we were hoopers, like we're talking shit.
Oh yeah, we love hoops.
And they engage, and if any of the players in the Cavs see this, they probably know me. They might know Sam as well. I'm a shit talker. They know me.
They were mad at you the other day for you were the reason Luka Doncic snapped
what
off.
the fuck? I went to the Dallas game when Luka and Kyrie came to town, and man, Luka was not having it. I was taking it easy on him, bro. I was literally taking it easy on him. Like last time Clippers were in town, I told Russ. I kept saying, hell no, every time he shot a three. He came down the court. I can't believe he didn't make ESPN. He literally flipped me off this close to my face, running down the court after making a layup.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Bro,
Did they tee him up?
No, they teed him up later. No. They teed up They teed up Luka. They didn't tee up Russ. But he literally flipped me off running down the court. But Luka, I was taking it easy on him. And I literally was just saying like same shit, like hell no. Like when he's taking crazy shots, Luka Doncic shots, and making every one. And he started literally hitting a shot and turning at me. And going, ah! And I'm like, is he looking at me right now to the people? And they're like, yeah, he's looking at you.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? It got to the point where Jared Allen and DG came up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, chill out, bro. Like,
Yeah,
he's
you're
going
doing too much.
crazy. He's going crazy because he had 50 fucking points.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was getting down on myself because I'm a big Cavs fan, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, damn,
It hurt your feelings a little bit.
I'm losing the game for us. It's
Yeah.
my fault. I was taking responsibility. And then Max Strus, my Lord
that
and
shit
Savior,
was insane.
hits 4 straight threes, and the second longest game winner since they've been keeping track in NBA history right in front of me.
Yeah.
We'll have to pull up that video and show me jumping out of the gym because
Yeah.
that was crazy.
That was wild.
insane. But yeah, Luka,
It's one of the
he doesn't
craziest.
like me, but I did cause him to get teed up at the end of the game. We won by, I think, 1, maybe 2 points. So the technical might have won us the game.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, Max Strus' half-court shot won us the game. But
Yeah. Shout out Max Strus.
But I think at the end of the day, I redeemed myself as a fan.
Yeah.
You know, I really believe that.
Hey, yeah, you got to put your heart into that game.
Bro, the Cavs are in second fucking place.
I know the Cavs are really good, and we love when the Cavs are good because
Yeah,
we love
shout out
basketball.
Shout out George Niang.
I thought you were about to say shout out Giorgio.
Yeah, Giorgio too, my brother, the biggest Cavs
Shout
fan.
out Georgie.
And the Indians fan, but shout out George Niang too.
I don't know about that,
No, that's my guy.
dude. Georges Niang. I had a pair of Alexander McQueen's on that one game, and I said Georges. I said, dude, his name's Georges, like with an ES, right?
Yeah, but I think I call him George.
George. All right,
Yeah.
whatever. George. I said George, because you, like you said, you're courtside. You can talk to these players. They can hear you. There's no
Yeah.
denying it.
Yeah.
And I said, Georges, I need some defense. I need some defense from you tonight.
Yeah.
They're playing the Knicks or something.
By the way,
I was
we're
like,
big Niang fans. We're big Cavs fans.
oh, we
but-
love the Cavs. And
Yeah.
I wasn't saying this like, hey, you suck at defense. I
Right.
was saying this like, bro, like lock in tonight.
Yeah.
I need you on defense. You're gonna
Yes.
hit your couple threes, but I need you on D.
Right.
And he goes, they don't pay me to do that, bro. And I said, and then I said, oh, what? I started going crazy. And then he goes, I'm gonna buy you another pair of them goofy ass shoes you got on. I had like these bedazzled McQueens on.
He was talking shit. He got mad. We made him a little bit mad, but
Yeah.
we became cool with Niang.
I hit him up on Instagram after. I said, bro, why did you do that? Why did you say that to me? And he said he was sorry.
Yeah, I like
I'll
Niang.
pull that up.
He's the man. I want to get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
to
that'd be dope.
honest. I saw he
It'd
just
be cool
started
to
his
get-
podcast.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get some of those guys
What was
on
really
there.
funny to me was that, I tell you these stories about me at the Cavs games and me talking shit to the players, and I think sometimes people don't believe me.
Yeah.
They 100% don't believe me when I tell them these interactions I have.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were at the game, and George came up to me and said, "You had Luka pissed."
Oh, I know.
Remember
I
that?
remembered. It was
You
like a
were-
week later, too.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's how you know.
Oh, yeah, they know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
just think about if you're in their shoes. Like, these dudes are human. They're going to know if you're fucking with somebody.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
But I think basketball is amazing, dude. Those hoopers, bro. Like I always say this. I always have a different level of respect for professional athletes, just like we have a different level of respect for businessmen who've created mass amount of wealth.
Yeah.
I always have a different amount of respect for those athletes because when you watch them, bro, like you understand. If you've hooped before, which we've both hooped a ton.
Yeah.
And you watch them, tween cross, pull up three, like it was easy.
That
You
shit
get
ain't
yeah,
easy.
you get a different
with a
amount of
6'5",
respect. Yeah,
most athletic dude in the world
Yeah.
guarding you.
driving, hitting a Kyrie reverse layup, spinning off the glass, like those guys, like I just when I like that's why I want to have a conversation with one of them
Yeah.
and just be like, did you know that you were different? That's God given
Yeah.
shit right there.
Yeah, I
God
mean,
given.
For sure.
You're born with
You gotta
that.
have both.
Yeah, you gotta have the work, but you gotta be born with a little bit of that.
For sure.
Because
People
you remember
don't believe that. You gotta have a little bit of that sprinkled extra sauce in there.
You definitely, and I have too, played against some guys that are in the league, and you just knew, like when they were younger. 'Cause
when they
I
were
was,
in fourth grade.
yeah, like
literally
middle
fourth
school,
grade.
middle school. That's when I knew I wasn't going to the NBA.
Yeah.
When I play against those guys.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like you said, like
Yeah,
we
it
were
was
hoopers.
heartbroken.
We were hoopers. Like,
Oh yeah,
and
we go back to our school
put
and
work in.
yeah,
Put work in, and it didn't matter how much work I put in. I
Oh, yeah.
can't be a 6'4" with a 40-inch vertical and be able
Yeah,
to punch it
dunking
on
on
your head.
dudes.
You know what I'm saying? And even a guy like Steph Curry, like who probably he's one of the most ones that like obviously he has an extreme amount of athleticism. There's no doubt about it. I don't care what anyone says. Like he's an athlete, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah.
his handle and the way he shoots doesn't matter. Someone could have practiced just as many shots as him and put up just as many dribbles and just as many shots.
they'll never be as good. No, it's like I said, you're born with some of that.
God sprinkled a little something extra in them.
Bro, it's not a coincidence that usually if your mom or your daddy was in the NBA or in the NFL, the chances of you being in the NBA or the NFL or the MLB is going to go up
That gene's in you.
drastically.
That gene
It is a
in
gene.
you.
It's blood. Like blood is a real thing. You know, you
Bro,
can have the
for
same,
sure.
you know,
For sure.
genes. Like obviously it's a real thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like you have a baby, that baby's probably going to come out looking like you.
Yeah.
You know, it's yours.
If not, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Dude, but we're big sports guys. The fucking
Love sports.
The Browns signed Jerry Jeudy. How do you feel about that?
I love that.
Yeah.
I think the Browns
I
haven't
loved
had
it, and then I looked up his stats.
Well, no,
Holy shit.
that's why I called you. I was like,
He had the most. Did you know? I mean,
he was not that good.
dude, he had the highest drop percentage in the league his
Yeah.
rookie year. And then, I think last year he was like 110th or something.
Well, the thing is, it's Jerry Jeudy. At the end of the day, it's Jerry
Damn, a
Jeudy.
killer.
Yeah, killer.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy. Like he's gotten
I think
heat.
14th pick in the draft.
Yeah, he's gotten heat for
Mhm.
not performing.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, that is Jerry Jeudy. He can go out there and cook somebody and run
Yeah.
and score a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy
Yeah,
can do
with
that.
Deshaun Watson
I
throwing
don't-
to him.
Yeah, I don't question his ability.
He's got Amari Cooper on the other side.
Yeah.
We should be some killers out there.
He underperformed at Denver.
Denver for sure. Russell Wilson potentially going into the Steelers. Are saying right?
He's with the Steelers.
Is he
Yep.
officially?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Who do you think's gonna win the NBA Finals?
The NBA Finals?
Yeah,
I think the Denver Nuggets.
I agree, 100%.
I think it's going to be Denver, Boston. I love my Cavs, but I think it's going to be Denver, Boston.
Denver's so good.
I think Denver in 6, maybe 7. I think it's going to be a really good series. That's my call.
Denver's so good.
Um,
Love watching Denver.
the Bucks are good though. They're deep too on the East.
I don't think the Bucks are that good though.
I think they are, bro. I think they're underperforming, bro. Their roster's crazy.
Yeah, their roster is pretty nuts.
Crazy, bro. Dame, like
Giannis,
Giannis,
Bobby
obviously.
Portis, Jay Crowder,
Bro.
Brooke Lopez,
Did you say Bobby Portis?
Mhm.
Killer.
Lopez,
Chris Middleton.
Yeah, Chris Middleton, All-Star.
Killers, bro. Brooke
Yeah.
Lopez is a dog too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are some killers.
100% agree.
But the fucking Ravens get Derrick Henry.
Yeah, fuck that.
Bro, what the fuck? That's a team now that is going to be off limits in Madden.
Yeah,
Just like the Warriors when they had KD off limits.
Imagine the
If they're
read option.
If you play 2K and you don't make that Warriors team off limits,
you don't play 2K.
yeah, you're fucking
You're a bot.
something.
You're square.
Can't hang out with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got now. The Warriors are off limits for
Yeah,
sure.
and if you don't play 3 randoms when you're playing against each other, again,
Yeah.
noob.
Yeah, you're a
Noob's
bot.
still a word.
Yeah.
That was what they used to say back
Noob.
then. Yeah.
You're a casual.
You're casual. There you go. Maybe that's the new
That's
term.
the better for a better lack of term. What is
Yeah.
it? For better is it lack of better term?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah, you can see we're big. By the way, speaking of sports, I didn't even think about this. Like we didn't say anything about the backdrop in the last episode. Floyd Mayweather Jr., fire, if I do say so myself. Conor McGregor, fire.
Yep.
My boy Travis Kelce, shout out the Heights boy.
Yep.
Baker
Cleveland
Mayfield. Brown, I'm a Baker fan, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Shout out Baker for just signing a
just
big deal.
100 million.
Yeah. Good shit.
100 million?
Damn, son.
Baker. Is that the button?
Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal signed, AI signed,
Yep.
When LeBron won the championship. We're sports guys over here.
See, we love sports. We spend a lot of time watching sports. But we can't play sports anymore. So
Yeah, so we play
we play life.
Yeah, we play business.
We play business. So that that really does translate too.
Yep.
100% believe that translates.
Mhm.
But sports are just one of the greatest things in the world.
Yeah, for sure. And the name of the show, People Made Show, if it wasn't for the people we met in sports,
Yep.
the people that we competed against in sports, I think it's very fair to say we wouldn't be who we are.
Oh, for sure.
Coaches even, learning how to deal with certain coaches, learning how to
Yeah.
play with certain players.
Teaches you a lot.
Teaches you a lot, bro. 100%.
Yeah, what if we just went our whole lives never playing any sports? You think we'd have the same personality? Or the same?
No.
No, I truly don't.
Hell no.
I don't.
No. Think about, people that didn't, it's harder to relate to people that didn't play sports when you did play sports, for a fact.
Yeah.
I
agree.
think obviously, you can, but it's different. It's
Yeah,
a
we need
different
to start.
level.
I was just thinking about that. We need to start hooping again.
Yeah.
I was talking to Quentin.
I just let the legend of my hoop skills live on, so people don't have anything to judge it on.
It's low-key
They can look up, go back on my Instagram and look up
Low-key
some of the games I had. You know,
I was talking
some of
to
the game
Quentin,
winners and
Quentin on our team, and he said he can get us in some runs. And the dudes he's hooping with, like,
that's on you, dog.
we're gonna be hooping with some
I'm
dogs.
I'm 10 years out. We're
gonna be hooping with D1 players.
I'm 10 years out. You're 3.
Nah, we got to keep that. We got to be able. We can compete.
I can't
Play your
guard.
role.
I can't guard nobody.
Play your role.
I'm worse than George Niang. I ain't guarding nobody.
You just got to play your role and shut your mouth.
Yeah, you jabroni.
You jabroni.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, bro. Thanks for coming on. Like I said, we're gonna be doing this. Probably do an alternating episode here and there in between guests. You and I will just come in here, chop it up, talk about. You know, they got to know you a
Current
little bit.
events.
They got to know you a little bit today.
Yeah.
But moving forward, you know, we'll chop it up just about what's going on. Have fun. But I appreciate you. Tell the people where they can find you out on socials.
You can find me _ Sam Seagull. That's SIEGEL. That's on Instagram. And then TikTok, Sammy the Bull. I post some TikToks sometimes. Got one viral one. You should make the rest of them go viral. I could probably have San Antonio help with that. But IG _ Sam Seagull. Follow me. I might follow you back. Maybe not.
Shout out to Sam. Shout out to
Maybe
Sam.
not.
I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming on. It was fun. It's cool.
Yeah, it was
Got a
fun,
little
dude.
emotional.
Yeah, we got a little emotional. Like I said, we're emotional people, so that's okay. We're not afraid to bring that out.
Yeah.
We're comfortable with our masculinity.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly,
so we're not
exactly.
afraid to bring that out.
Yep. So
But
remember,
it's all love. It's all family. We're not just friends. We're family. So it's
Exactly.
different. You know, at the end of the day.
exactly. So thanks for watching the People Made Show, where we don't believe anyone is self-made. We believe everyone is people made. Check out peoplemade.shop. Get you some merch.
Yes, sir.
Check out PropStream. If you want to get in touch with us, hit up Sam in his DMs. If you're interested in talking about the life insurance business, we're always hiring. So if you're a killer, so let us
Let's do
know.
it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.